What up, everybody? The current Raising Kanan timeline is winter of 92-93, and I believe the year is still in 1992, either though it's likely around December and becoming 1993 soon. Season 1 of Raising Kanan started around late winter of 1991 and had a 3-month time jump at the end of Season 1 to the beginning of Season 2, which was the summer of 1991, and Season 2 started around the fall of 1991 when Kanan and Jukebox went back to school. Then throughout Season 2 and Season 3 should have been about a year and a half, getting us to the end of 1992. And just like there was a time jump after Season 1, I think we could see another time jump at the beginning of Season 4 after the writers show us what happened to Unique and how he survived. But the question a lot of people have been asking since the beginning of Raising Kanan, where is young Ghost, Tommy, and Angela? And a lot of people were even asking, where is young Tasha? But concerning Tasha, one thing to keep in mind is that she was born in 1984 because she celebrated her 30th birthday in Season 1 of Power, the year 2014. So she'd only be about 8 or 9 years old on the current timeline. But concerning Ghost meeting Tommy and Angela, I do have the timeline for that because it was revealed in Power Season 2. And this was around the winter time of 2014 to 2015, 22 years after where we currently are right now on the Raising Kanan timeline. It was at this time when Ghost started pressing Tommy about Holly calling him Ghost, when he told Tommy that he's known Tommy for 25 years and Tommy had never put his business in the streets before. And this is definitely something to keep in mind because in OG Power, Tommy was constantly running his mouth and putting people's business in the streets. So I guess he had been away from Kanan for too long and forgot about that rule because Kanan definitely has a problem with people running their mouths. Keeping in mind he came up under Ronnie for a little bit and Ronnie straight up killed Dean just for telling Unique that Ronnie came to see him. But Ghost said he had known Tommy for 25 years. This was around 2014, possibly the beginning of 2015. I'll say 2014 to have an exact year for the purpose of this video because Season 2 of Power started the same day that Season 1 left off. But that would mean that Ghost met Tommy in the year 1989 and they both would have been around 9 years old. And that would have been 2 years prior to the time Raising Kanan Season 1 started. So because the fact that Ghost and Tommy met before the Raising Kanan timeline, I think Power Origins could possibly start with a flashback scene showing Ghost and Tommy when they first met. Because this is something we really need to see so we can learn the origin of their relationship and exactly how they met and became such good friends in the first place. Keep it in mind that Raising Kanan started with a flashback scene with young Kanan getting bullied and beat up by some kids at the park. Then Rock making him go back with a sock filled with batteries and beat those kids down. Young Jukebox is also shown in this scene, as well as one of Rock's boyfriends named High Post. This flashback scene took place in the year 1985, 6 years before the start of Raising Kanan, and Kanan would have been about 10 years old. So if Origins starts in the year 1995, we could definitely see a 6-year flashback to 1989 when Ghost first met Tommy. I also think we could see Ghost and Tommy flashback scenes throughout Origins, like in BMF how they show the young Meech and Terry flashbacks. And either though the early seasons of Power show that Ghost's birth year is 75 and Tommy's birth year is 76, this had later been retconned and changed the years 1980 and 1981, lining up better with the original story that it had been 18 years since Angela last saw Ghost before she transferred to Cho. Because OG Power started in 2014, minus 18 years, and that would have got us to 1996 when Angela transferred to Cho. And that date is also confirmed in the credit scene at the ending of OG Power when we got the flashback to Ghost, Tommy, and Angela all in high school, making them about 15 or 16 in 1996. And Ghost and Tommy would have met around 8 or 9 years old, around the same age that Kanan was in the 1985 flashback scene from Raising Kanan. Getting me to when Ghost met Angela, because at the same time Ghost was pressing Tommy about Holly, and when he told Tommy he had known him for 25 years, Tommy said something about Angela, and Ghost said he knew Angela for 20 years. So Ghost met Angela 5 years after he met Tommy, and the year would have been 1994. So this hasn't happened on the Raising Kanan timeline yet, and I do think that Ghost and Tommy will be on the show by this point in the timeline. So Ghost and Angela would have been around 13 or 14 years old when they met, and they would have been in the 8th grade. And we know they met in the 8th grade from the story that Ghost told Angela in OG Power about how he gave a kid named Jose his lunch money to sit next to Angela on the bus during a field trip. And on that field trip, they got caught making out under the stairs. And I also think that Ghost was already in the drug game by the time he met Angela, because in Power, soon after she found out that he was Ghost and she was confronting him about it and trying to end things with him, Ghost let her know that this is who he's been all along. This was also confirmed by what Angela's family used to say about Ghost in Power. When we were first introduced to Angela's father, he called Ghost the punk on the corner, the drug dealer, and told Angela, "I thought I told you to stay away from that boy. He's no good." And when Angela first told her sister Paws that she was seeing Jamie St. Patrick again, Paws said that James used to play lookout for those gangsters. She also knew a lot about Tommy Egan, and one of the final episodes she said that people around the neighborhood talked. But at this point, Ghost doesn't have the name Ghost yet either, and he didn't become Ghost until Angela left for Cho. At one point, Angela said that he's not Jamie anymore, that he's Ghost now. So James will go by Jamie, Angela will go by Angie, and Thomas will go by Tommy. But once they get older, Jamie will start going by James for those who don't know him as Ghost. And Angela will start being called Angela instead of Angie. But Thomas will continue to be called Tommy, and he'll never go by Thomas, either though that's what Lobos used to call him. And the only person that will continue calling Ghost Jamie is Tommy's mother, Kate Egan. And we know that Ghost's other nickname before he got the nickname Ghost was his initials, JSP, James St. Patrick. And that Tommy went by Tommy Tom, and the rap group was JSP and Tommy Tom. James even used the nickname JSP again after he got back Truth and 2 other clubs from Simon Stern. Once he sold the laundry mats and rebranded Truth without Tommy, he called his franchise JSP Nightlife. So the question that still needs to be answered is, when does Ghost meet Kanan, and when will Ghost, Tommy, and Angela be introduced on the Raising Kanan timeline? Because I think there's a chance we could possibly see a scene with young Angela before she even meets Ghost, possibly with her family, because the fact it's likely Kanan was hustling outside of the apartment building Angela grew up in, and that's how her family knew that Ghost was a drug dealer. And I think that Angela was always in denial about the fact that Ghost was a drug dealer, because in Power, she talked about how Tommy loved the streets, but acted like Ghost wasn't involved. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.